who's now playing professionally in Europe, had 36 points for Illinois State. But these two teams a bit different than last year as we are just about ready to get underway. The opening tip is won by Illinois State. The Redbirds have it to start this one. Lofton scored 11 points in Illinois State's last game. Both teams will play a man-to-man defense. Jones goes right at Ola, misses the left-handed hook shot, and Drew Crawford chases down the rebound for Northwestern.
And in terms of these teams not playing each other that often, like you mentioned earlier, they should get used to each other. They play a home and home, so the Wildcats head to Illinois State next year.
Crawford backs down his man, a foul going against Bobby Hunter. That's the first of the game for Hunter, first team foul for Illinois State. Hunter, one of those 5 junior college transfers coming to Illinois State by way of Santa Fe College. Crawford inbounds it to Cobb. Northwestern resets their offense. Crawford left wing. Ola swings it around to Sobolewski. Drives baseline, gets doubled. Nearly travels. Ola open baseline jumper for the center is no good. Rebound Illinois State. Middlebrooks, who had a double-double in his second career collegiate game Tuesday, a loss against Drexel. Foul on the interior going against Alex Ola. First personal for Ola, first team foul for the Wildcats.
And one thing to watch in this game, Brandon, is how these teams line up defensively. Northwestern will mix between the zone and the man. Not as much zone as you saw in the Carmody era, but Illinois State is pretty much a strictly man team. A welcome sight for Northwestern after they struggled with Stanford's zone.
Lofton fires a 3, no good. Northwestern going the other way. Lofton was 3 of 16 from the field in Illinois State's loss to Drexel. This is a team that doesn't shoot particularly well, at least through the first 2 games. Traveling. Dave Sobolewski thought he was fouled by Paris Lee. But Sobo doesn't get the call. Lee has a penchant for forcing turnovers. He has 8 steals through 2 games. In fact, he had 6 steals in the season opening game for Illinois State against VCU.
Interesting call there.
Jones inside, layup is good, and we finally have points on the board. Illinois State takes an early 2-0 lead.
I was going to say, the way that these games have been called recently, the new rules this season, really keeping an eye on the hands on the perimeter.
NCAA refs have been doing their best to keep hand checking to a minimum, but right now it's making the game even choppier than in years past, which is what the rule was put in place to prevent. 2-0 Redbirds, 2 minutes into this one. Nice drive by Lumpkin, finds Ola, and Ola scores with the right hand. Great interior passing there from Lumpkin to Ola.
That's really the next step of Sanjay Lumpkin's development, is taking care of the ball, making good passes.
2-2 game. Middlebrooks. Paris Lee takes a 3. He fell down, no foul called, and Northwestern secures the rebound. Illinois State was just 5 for 20 from deep against Drexel in their last game. Cobb to the hoop, absorbs contact and draws a foul. Great play by Jershawn Cobb. He was one of the few players in Northwestern's last game against Stanford that showed the ability to break down defenses.
Yeah, and he did it with the long shot. Here, they show respect for the long shot. He drives it right to the lane, draws a lot of contact. They've been letting a little bit of contact go in this one, but not that. That's too much contact. He's going to go to the line for 2.
Cobb at the charity stripe. He's 5 for 8 through 2 games for Northwestern. Couple subs ready to check in for the Redbirds after this first free throw. First free throw is good. Reggie Lynch and Deshaun Knight check in for the Redbirds. Lynch, a true freshman from Edina, Minnesota. And Knight, another one of those junior college transfers from Odessa College. Cobb sporting the new haircut this year at the free throw line. He made the first one. Second one is good as well. Northwestern doubles up on Illinois State early, 4-2.
It's a big possession here for Illinois State, as they can't let this one slip away early.
Northwestern staying with a man-to-man. Lofton. Deshaun Knight inside. Lynch with a turnaround, he misses. And Lofton comes away with it for Illinois State. He misses. Northwestern gets the rebound. Lumpkin swings it around. Sobo takes a three. No good. Paris Lee secures the rebound. Sobolewski struggling in the early going for Northwestern this season. He was just 2 of 8 from the field, and NU's lost to Stanford. He also has the same amount of assists as turnovers. Of course, only 2 games in, so small sample sizes play a role. Out of bounds. Zach Lofton dribbled it on the baseline, something Northwestern did probably too much against Stanford, turning the ball over, but Northwestern happy to force an Illinois State turnover there.
I'm sure coach will tell you one time stepping on the out-of-bounds line is too many, Brandon. That's a really frustrating turnover.
Sobolewski drives baseline and draws a foul. And that's really where you see the new rules coming into effect. A lot of times when you have a guard driving on another guard, referees are calling those hand checks this year.
Absolutely, and Wildcats need to be able to take advantage of that. These are smart guys figuring out how to take advantage of the rules, and Sobolewski as one of them. He's already gotten to the free throw line 8 times versus just 9 field goal attempts coming into today's game. A really good free throw rate.
First foul for Paris Lee, 3rd team foul for Illinois State. We've yet to hit the first media timeout. Crawford. Jumper is pure, and Drew Crawford continues a stellar start to the season. Scored 40 points through Northwestern's first 2 games.
That was just a 2-pointer, but he made it look really good.
Knight is fouled by Jershon Cobb. Cobb can't believe it. He's holding his arms up at our head official, Terry Weimer, as if to say, I didn't touch him.
And you see Lumpkin was right there ready to take the charge. That's going to come with time as these guys get more used to playing with each other. It's the kind of thing where Cobb is going to know to step back a little bit and let his teammate take the charge as it is. These are guys who haven't played together at all before this season. Lumpkin is the redshirt freshman, and Cobb, who was suspended for all of last year.
First substitution for Northwestern. Trey Demps is in the game now for the Wildcats. Both of Illinois State's players that have significant collegiate experience have checked in now. This is a true freshman, though, Reggie Lynch. No basket. Foul on the floor going against Northwestern. That'll be against Alex Ola, his 2nd personal. And that's big for Northwestern. But we're taking a break with 15:56 remaining in the first half. Foul trouble. And they have to call on Nikola Chirena. Of course, Chris Collins is the coach for Northwestern. Just his 3rd game as a head coach. He's 1-1 in Northwestern's first 2 games. And tonight he has a pretty special audience, his father. Zach Lofton fires a 3, it rattles out, and Trey Demps comes away with a rebound. And Illinois State actually went after Chris Collins when they had an opening with their head coach position last year. Jershon Cobb is rejected by Reggie Lynch. Illinois State going the other way. Off-balance shot by Lofton, no good, but a blocking foul against Sanjay Lumpkin. His first personal 4th team foul for the Wildcats. Take another look at that block by Reggie Lynch, the true freshman.
Northwestern just not getting the breaks right now. They're getting to the rim and then getting position on the other end defensively, but just not getting the calls. And this is turning into a really physical game, Brandon.
Lofton misses the first free throw. He's the only Illinois State player that is averaging double figures. Nate Taphorn checks in for the Wildcats. Sanjay Lumpkin exits the game. Lofton makes 1 of 2 free throws. He's now 10 of 12 on the season from the charity stripe. No Dave Sobolewski in for the Wildcats. That means Jershon Cobb is running the point. Chirena. Nice up and under move, and he knocks down the layup. Fantastic post move that time.
And Nico Chirena is not a scorer by any stretch of the imagination, but when he has a couple little moves. He showed one of them right there. That was nifty.
Chirena equaling his point total from last game. Reggie Lynch stripped. Chirena saves it to Jershon Cobb. Cobb loses it, but Chirena, Johnny on the spot this last minute.
What can't he do out there, Brandon?
He struggled in the game against Stanford. Only had 1 field goal attempt in 17 minutes. Good pump fake for Crawford. Long 2 ball is long, but Chirena pulls down the rebound. Foul going against Zeisloft. the first personal foul against the redshirt sophomore from LaGrange, Illinois. Zeisloft, along with just 2 other players, were the only ones that had NCAA experience coming into this year.
You
take another look.
Check out Nico Chirena just doing work on the boards. He's the kind of player who gets into a rhythm on both ends of the floor and really improves his game as he gets out on the floor more often, which is unfortunate because he's a reserve player.
Northwestern doesn't have a whole lot of depth. Alex Ola and Nico Chirena pretty much splitting the center position for Northwestern. Cobb nearly gets the ball stripped, but a foul is called. Will go against Zach Lofton. First personal for Lofton, 5th team foul for Illinois State.
And right now, both coaches up and shouting at their players and a little bit at the refs as well. As you can sense, there's a little bit of frustration for the players and coaches that this game is maybe not being called as consistently as they would hope. A lot of no calls on some contact down low, and then a lot of calls on some plays that are out on the perimeter.
Taphorn takes the inbound. And a foul again, this one going against Keza Keene, the sophomore from Ontario. He actually played against Northwestern last year. He had 9 assists last year in that game. Illinois State lost in overtime. Northwestern won the South Padre Island Invitational. But Keene, along with Nick Zeisloft, really the only 2 guys with significant NCAA experience for this Illinois State team that has 10 newcomers. All the way to the hoop and in, Bobby Hunter, the guard from Reno, Nevada, gives Illinois State 5.
And even though Illinois State has 16 fouls, meaning their next one puts the Wildcats on the free throw line, they're still playing aggressive defensively on the perimeter.
Slow-moving game offensively, just 13 combined points between these 2 teams. Cobb with a nice spin move, shot overnight, no good. And Illinois State coming the other way. Foul going against Northwestern. Nate Taphorn with the foul against Deshaun Knight there, the guard from Baltimore.
As we're going to take a look at some subs coming in for the Wildcats. Sobolewski and Lumpkin come in for Demps and Cobb. So just a quick run out there for Trey Demps. Really just trying to keep an eye on him, make sure he stays in rhythm.
Sobo defending the inbound, which goes to Middlebrooks. Keza Keene with the ball, averaging 4.5 points a game, 6 assists for Illinois State, a team that hasn't had a whole lot of assists. Long shot is no good. Drew Crawford there to corral the rebound for Northwestern. That's his 2nd.
That was the 4th three-point attempt taken by Illinois State. Usually Northwestern is the team that's going to try more three-pointers. That's not the case here. Northwestern's tried just 1 from deep.
Well, these 2 teams have similar styles, man-to-man defense. They shoot a lot from the outside. Foul against Illinois State, and Northwestern already in the bonus. We're not even 8 minutes into this one.
This could be a lot of free throws we could be looking at in this one, Brandon. Really maybe testing some of the depths of some of these benches as these players continue to get in foul trouble. But what's setting that up is the fact that Illinois State respects Northwestern's outside shooting ability. You see a lot of Northwestern players, as soon as they catch, they're looking at the basket, an aggressive pump fake, and then they're putting the ball on the ground. That's exactly what Taphorn did, and that's why he's at the line right now.
Taphorn with the charity stripe for the 2nd time this season, and he misses his first free throw. 2 for 3 on the year now. And Illinois State takes over. They trail by 3 at Welsh Ryan. Knight inside, lobs it to Middlebrooks. Middlebrooks can't finish. Illinois State trying to execute an alley-oop there, but it didn't quite work out.
I don't think Middlebrooks is expecting that one, Brandon.
He got off the ground a little late. Sobo. That's no good for 3. Chirena gets the rebound, but he traveled. Turnover, a sloppy game thus far. 8-5 Northwestern leads with 12:22 to go, but just no rhythm in the early going.
Well, and you can see, again, Illinois State really showing respect for that outside shot as 2 players came flying at Sobolewski, and he got a little bit flustered, just missed the mark a little bit, rushed his shot, and then Chirena also got excited on that putback, just shuffled his feet a little bit.
Hunter. Deshaun Knight inside to Jones. Quick double from Northwestern, and it forced a travel. Good job, Northwestern. basically forced that traveling with a post double team. Dave Sobolewski came over to help out there against John Jones, and Northwestern gets the ball back.
That's an aggressive defensive play for Sobolewski to come double, completely leave his man, really just daring Illinois State to find open players on the perimeter and knock down outside shots.
Sobo with a nice pass to Chirena. Chirena is stuffed at the rim. Two Illinois State players meet him there. Other way, Knight with the right-handed layup, and it's a one-point game.
That's a really athletic finish by Knight there, using the step-through to get through two defenders.
8-7, under 12 minutes to play. Sobolewski kicks it out. Chirena takes a three. It's no good. Illinois State in transition again. Knight lobs. Jones can't finish. Redbirds reset the offense. All of a sudden, Illinois State picking up some momentum in a game that's had just 15 points scored. Knight drives left, absorbs contact, and knocks it down. Redbirds take the lead, 9-8.
And that's what happens when the refs are calling things aggressively on drives and really blowing the whistle a lot, as Lumpkin felt that he had to back up and keep his hands straight up. Didn't really affect the shot that much.
Ball stays in bounds. Hunter nearly wrestled it away from Drew Crawford, but Northwestern maintains possession. Abrahamson in the game. He misses a three. Northwestern 0 of 4 from beyond the arc. Hunter is rejected, but it's an offensive foul. Another turnover against Illinois State, third for the Redbirds. We'll take a break with 10:27 remaining in the first half. Illinois State leads Northwestern 9-8.
Offensive foul on Illinois State's number 4.
Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Mandy. Chris was actually looked at for the Illinois State job, which was vacant before the beginning of last season. They ended up going with the guy that they have now, Dan Muller, in his second season with Illinois State. Prior to that, he spent 12 years as an assistant at Vanderbilt. A pretty good player in his own right, Dan Muller. He's a Hall of Famer at Illinois State, and actually both times Illinois State beat Northwestern, Muller was a player.
Yeah, it seems like it was a while ago for Illinois State fans. He's a class of 98 guy, but he's back on the sidelines, and you see the model of a coach who's an alumni, and that's, you're looking at Northwestern, you think of Coach Fitz, and what he's done with that football program. That's what Illinois State's hoping to do, something like that with their basketball program.
Middlebrooks gets a block. Illinois State certainly in a state of transition with 10 newcomers on this year's roster. Only 3 players with any NCAA D1 experience coming into this season. A lot of guys made their NCAA debut as Lynch throws it down. Well, that's one of the newcomers, Reggie Lynch, the freshman. Didn't score in their last game against Drexel, but he throws it down there, and the Redbirds lead by 3. Foul on the floor, no basket for Jershawn Cobb, but he will go to the free throw line.
And Northwestern, I think, is a little bit shocked right now. It's never fun to give up a dunk, but especially when it's in your own building and you're right in front of your student section. It just got really quiet in here, and Northwestern needs to find a way to play a little bit stronger defense, keep getting themselves to the line, and sort of weather this storm, get themselves back ahead comfortably.
Dave Sobolewski coming out. Trey Demps has checked back in for the Wildcats. Jershawn Cobb at the charity stripe. Cobb has knocked down both free throws he's attempted today. Knocks down the first, and the Cats within 2.
Nice
11-9.
It's nice to see Jershawn Cobb back out there after a year where he was suspended from the team, didn't play at all last season. He knocks down that second one. He really brings an athletic, strong defensive presence to the Wildcats, and as he's showing, his offensive game's improved a lot since when we last saw him.
Well, Cobb had a team-high 19 points in Northwestern's loss to Stanford. He's probably going to be the second option on offense behind Drew. The real question for Northwestern, who's that third guy going to be? Keene with a floater, no good. Reggie Lynch gets the rebound and gets it up and in. The freshman having himself quite a game. 4 points now on consecutive possessions for Reggie Lynch.
That was a good offensive rebound. He just wrestled away from Sanjay Lumpkin. That's just pure strength.
Illinois State pushes their lead back up to 3. Cobb thought about a 3-ball. Inside to Lumpkin. Lumpkin is rejected by Reggie Lynch. But he stepped out of bounds. Northwestern gets bailed out there.
Ooh, that was really close, as Lynch is owning the paint right now, as he just has the total advantage over Sanjay Lumpkin. I think he's in his head a little bit. That was a powerful block from Lynch.
Long inbound to Alex Ola at Northwestern against a team that doesn't have anybody taller than 6'10" Reggie Lynch, is having trouble on the interior. Getting out rebounded in the early going, 12-10. Crawford swings it over. Demps pulls it out, only 12 seconds to shoot for Northwestern. All the way to the basket, off balance, no good. Ola can't make the putback. Northwestern having all kinds of trouble right now. Keene lobs it up, Middlebrooks throws it down, alley-oop. And Illinois State leads by 5. Time remaining in the first half. Northwestern forced to call a timeout to stop the bleeding. Middlebrooks continuing to be a good rebounder. He led the team, averaging 9 rebounds a game coming into this one. 4 boards for Middlebrooks already.
And
Northwestern take over.
Northwestern right now really out of sync. You could see it on their last possession where they didn't get into their offense until about 12 seconds left on the shot clock, and then just a miscommunication defensively.
Cobb all the way to the basket, and that's exactly how you want to come out of a timeout.
Speaking of miscommunications defensively, no one on Illinois State switched the pick there.
Keene, wraparound pass. No good, but a foul. Reggie Lynch having his way on the interior against Northwestern. 7:48 remain in the first half. We'll take a break. Chris
And now it's time for basketball fun with
by not getting good offensive possessions on their offensive side. That's exactly what we're hoping not to see here for the Wildcat fans. You see them out in some pretty big numbers for a Sunday night non-conference game.
Reggie Lynch at the free throw line. He makes the first one. It's just the second free throw Lynch has attempted this year, and Illinois State leads by 4. Something to follow. Nikola Chirena's in the game because Alex Olo was called for his 3rd foul before that last timeout. So it'll be Chirena for the rest of the half and maybe most of the game. Luckily for Northwestern fans, he has looked good in limited action. Lynch, 2 of 2 from the charity stripe. Reggie Lynch having himself a big game. 6 points and 3 rebounds for the freshman. He's also got a block. 5-point deficit for Northwestern. Wildcats have just 12 points in about 13 minutes of playing time. Demps fires, no good. Rebound Illinois State. Zach Lofton comes away with it. And Jershawn Cobb nearly steals it back, but it'll stay with Illinois State. Jershawn Cobb plays some good defense there, but can't get the ball back for the Wildcats.
Jershawn Cobb just playing that free safety position, reading his eyes. As that pass was telegraphed, it was in the air a long time, and that was almost a big game-breaking play for Northwestern.
Lofton all the way to the hoop. He misses, gets his own rebound, and puts it in. Zach Lofton, the only player who averages more than 10 points a game for Illinois State, at least through 2 games, gets that to go. He's got 3 in this one. Crawford to the hoop, baseline floater, no good. Rebound Reggie Lynch. Illinois State having their way right now. Paisley Keene breaks up the momentum a little bit. He's called for a traveling violation. Keene actually played in high school, at least for 1 year, at the Christian Faith Center Academy with Mikhail McIntosh, who we have not seen for Illinois State. Those two are also both Canadians. They played for the Canadian junior national team this past summer in the FIBA World Championships. Alex Ola played in that competition too. Seven-point lead for Illinois State. The Wildcats just 4 of 19 from the field. Only 4 field goals for Northwestern. 7 to shoot. Demps all the way to the hole. Gets fouled. Trey Demps makes something out of nothing, but another pretty stagnant offensive possession for Northwestern.
Absolutely. They're really just watching as one player tries to make a play as the shot clock winds down. That's not going to work against good competition, let alone decent competition, as Illinois State has shown. really, that's just not a good recipe for success. Trey Demps is going to get an opportunity to break a scoring drought here for the Wildcats.
But he misses, and he's just at 50% now on the year from the free throw line. 5 of 10. Nate Taphorn checks in. Taphorn from Pekin, Illinois, an area that was affected by the storms today. A pretty wild weather day for those of you in the Midwest. Luckily, the Northwestern men's basketball team alerted us via Twitter that his family's okay. Hopefully, if you're in one of the affected areas, you're doing okay. A pretty wild weather day across the Midwest with storms. As Jones loses a handle on that one, and Northwestern will get the ball back.
And you take a look right there, Northwestern just really struggling from all over the field. As that last free throw broke a drought of almost 2 whole minutes without any points. Not just field goals, any points for the Wildcats. They just got to keep putting points on the board.
Crawford gets good position, turns around and knocks it down with the right hand. Drew Crawford has 4 points, Northwestern within 4. Lofton fires. 3 ball is good. Zach Lofton pushes the Illinois State lead back out to 7.
You can see why Zach Lofton's the Redbirds' leading scorer. This is a team that doesn't really have one star player, but they're capable of having 5 guys go in double figures, as they did in their last game, a loss against Drexel.
6 points for Lofton. Demps, spin move, off balance. It's good, off the backboard. Trey Demps creating his own shot that time.
That is a difficult shot. Trey Demps made it look pretty easy.
The Northwestern still trails. "15 seconds on the shot clock. Knight knocks it down from the baseline, and a foul under the basket. Looks like it's going against Nikola Chirena. The basket will still count. And it is against Chirena. He's got to be careful. Ola has 3 fouls, and if they lose Chirena, they'll be in lots of trouble on the interior. You take another look. A nice jump shot for Deshaun Knight. This is an Illinois State team that, coming into this game, Cameron, was shooting 32% from the field. Well, these last few minutes, they haven't looked like it. Shooting 9 of 21 in the first half.
Yeah, that's good enough for a 45% from the field of the Redbirds. And now, after that foul, they're going to have a shot at the foul line. So officials having a word with Chris Collins as they're trying to get this sorted out. Just not a smart situation there. So that was not good form on the box out there by Chirena. I think he thought that shot was going to miss from Knight. And generally, you look at step-back jumpers from the corner as the guy's fading away into the opposing bench. Those shots usually miss, but Illinois State is just really clicking right now.
Well, John Jones, another international player for Illinois State from Barbados at the free throw line. 7 of 12 from the stripe this season. Free throw is good. And that's all that they'll get. Apparently it was a 2-shot foul, even though it was on a made basket. Second free throw is good as well, so it's a 4-point possession for Illinois State. John Jones with 4 points and 2 rebounds for the Redbirds.
I think that was because it was a dead ball 1-and-1 foul. The players seemed to be a little confused. They weren't ready on the first shot. It had missed.
No good on the 3 ball from Taphorn. It's Northwestern that's struggling shooting the ball. Knight all the way to the basket. 2-pointer good with the left hand. It's an 11-point lead for Illinois State with 4.5 minutes left in the first half.
Northwestern's just looking at the clock at this point and waiting to get to halftime and switch sides because there's a lid on this basket, Brandon.
Northwestern needs to get it off because right now they trail by 11 in the first half. Crawford rattles out. Zeisloff with the rebound for Illinois State. Largest lead of the game for either team. Lofton increases it. 3 ball from the right wing. Timeout Northwestern with 4 minutes.
It was a pretty good shot, and then on the other side, Illinois State's just unconscious right now. They're hitting absolutely everything. Everything is coming from deep, and when you're struggling and the balls are not going in, you're not going to break through a lid on the basket by trying to go from outside. You need to slam the lid out, get to the rim, slam dunk that thing, and break that lid open.
Right now, Northwestern just needs any basket. The offense has been out of sorts. Foul on the perimeter. Lee called for it. That'll be free throws for Northwestern. We'll take a break. When we come back, the Wildcats
Shooting 50% from the field and 33% from deep. Those are just efficient numbers. Illinois State, they could even be playing better. They have 6 turnovers in this game. If you take a look at their leading scorer in this one, Zach Lofton.
He's got 9 points. This is an Illinois State team that doesn't really have a go-to player. 5 guys in double figures their last game. Dave Sobolewski will try to give Northwestern something, but he misses the first free throw.
Fortunately for the Wildcats, it's a 2-shot foul, as they'll be in the double bonus the rest of the way. On the other end, 17 fouls on Northwestern.
Sobolewski misses both, and right now Northwestern just not having any luck right now offensively, even at the charity stripe. They do get a steal on defense. Northwestern doesn't have anybody with more than 6 points here in the first half. That's Jershawn Cobb leading the way, as he did on Thursday. Crawford, baseline, and he throws it down. That's one way to take the momentum back.
That was explosive. Just a great first step by Crawford. And that turned the energy in this arena around a little bit.
Jones, though, right back at Northwestern. Wildcats left John Jones all alone on the interior, and Illinois State pushes the lead back up to 14.
That was set up by a great pass, though. Illinois State sharing the ball very well in this game, something we were going to watch throughout the game.
Turnover for Northwestern. Knight kicks it out. Lofton for 3. No good. It rattled out, and Drew Crawford secures it for the Wildcats. Sobolewski with it. 2.5 minutes to play in the first half. 14-point lead for Illinois State. Cobb, right baseline. Crossover, pull up, no good. Rebound Illinois State, Keene to Lofton. Lofton pulls up, takes a 3. It's good. Zach Lofton with 12 points, and Illinois State leads by 17.
When you're hot, Brandon. He knows he's feeling. He missed his last one. He just demanded the ball on that play, took a transition 3, and when you make it, it's not a bad shot.
Lofton, the leading scorer for Illinois State. 36-19, not the score Northwestern fans wanted to see. 10 seconds to shoot. Cobb, spin move. Gets fouled, but Northwestern just not getting anything going offensively. It seems like everything has been individual play. That last basket for Northwestern was a nice dunk by Drew Crawford. The team has guys who can go one-on-one, as you can see, Cameron, but I don't think Chris Collins' team really knows what their offense is right now.
Yeah, and they're not sharing the ball very well. Northwestern with just 4 assists as a team. Crawford has 1, Lumpkin has 2, and Chirena has an assist. You want a team to be greater than the sum of its parts, and that's not what Northwestern has been right now. They've been a team of individuals.
Cobb knocks down the free throw. 36-20 the score with 1:33 left in the first half. Drew Crawford with 6 points and 3 rebounds for the Wildcats.
When you're looking at the other side, Illinois State, it's a collection of talent. A lot of guys who hadn't played much at the Division I level or together. A lot of guys transferred from junior college, as that second free throw is good. You expect some guys like that to have trouble really building and gelling as a team. You wouldn't know it by the way they're playing right now, spreading the ball all over the floor and really moving without the ball.
15-point lead after 2 Jershawn Cobb free throws. He's got 8 points. That leads the way for NU. Northwestern still in a man-to-man defense. Keene inside to Lynch. Lynch working on Chirena. Reverse layup is good. And Chirena may be handcuffed a bit defensively. He's got 2 fouls, and Lynch went right by him.
He knows there's no one behind him except walk-on Aaron Lieberman and redshirt freshman Shira Joe.
A rejection that time for Lynch, but a foul going against Illinois State. No, it's an offensive foul. Dave Sobolewski called for his first personal foul, and he'll be subbed out for Trey Demps. Nothing going right for the Wildcats.
Just a nice job by Zeislov to stand in there and take that one. And Sobolewski has not been pleased. You've seen him on the bench a couple times as this run is progressively spiraled for Illinois State. He's been slamming his towel. He's not happy.
Rejection that time by Cobb. Northwestern comes away with it. Cobb wastes no time, gives it to Chirena, kicks it out. Demps for three. It's no good. Fight for the rebound and a foul on the interior going against Illinois State.
Illinois State foul on number 3.
Foul going against Deshaun Knight of Illinois State, his first personal. Northwestern's been in the double bonus for quite some time.
Northwestern just trying to get points however they can get them, even if it's drawing a foul on a rebound. Absolutely nothing going in right now for the Wildcats. 7 of 26 from the field, just a touch over 26%.
Jershawn Cobb has been the lone bright spot for Northwestern offensively. He knocks down the free throw. He's got 9.
On that last possession, it was Demps got a pretty good look at the basket. You really want him to succeed. He really struggled. He was in a little bit of a shooting slump against Stanford as he went 3 of 11 from the field and really hasn't found that stroke yet in this game. He's a streaky shooter. And when he's not going, it's up even more pressure on guys like Crawford and Cobb.
Second free throw is no good for Jershawn Cobb. That's his first miss from the free throw line. He's 7 of 8. Shot clock is off, so Illinois State can hold for the final shot. They lead by 16. Ten seconds. Keene gets the play. Off-balance shot. It's no good, but John Jones is there for the tip-in. No interference.
And another thing you don't see here, they have 9 assists in this first half. They average about 9 assists per game. They are turning the ball over a little bit. You expect that out of a young freshman team. If they can take care of the ball, even if they cool down a little bit from the field, they should be fine in this game.
Northwestern opens up going from right to left. Zach Lofton is Illinois State's leading scorer. 12 points for him. Alex Ola has to be careful. 3 fouls. Left-handed shot won't go. Lumpkin fights for the rebound and loses it out of bounds. Lumpkin thought it was off of Lee. Instead, the referees rule it was off Northwestern. Bad news continues for Chris Collins as we begin the second half.
Well, we don't know for sure if there's a lid on this basket yet, as that shot didn't get any rim. Looked like there was a lot of contact there as Ola was getting that shot up.
It certainly wasn't a rim for Illinois State in the first half. They're going the other way. John Jones, hook shot, no good. Rebound, Northwestern.
And this is where Northwestern's got to be better is in transition. That's how Illinois State's getting so many of their baskets, is out of that transition look.
We'll see if Northwestern could be more dynamic offensively. Cobb drives left, gets fouled. That's the one thing Northwestern did do well in the first half, Cameron. They drew fouls. They got into the double bonus pretty early, and they had 13 attempts from the free throw line, just 6 for Illinois State.
The problem is they got to the free throw line and didn't make their free throws. They shot 61% from the stripe, 8 of 13 for the Wildcats.
Take another look. One of those hand-checked fouls. First of the half for Illinois State. Northwestern takes over. Starting lineup in for the Cats: Sobolewski, Cobb, Lumpkin, Crawford, and Ola. Ola away outside. Sobo finds Alex Ola. Lumpkin. 10 seconds to shoot. Nice pass inside, but Ola can't handle it. It's out of bounds off of Illinois State. 7 seconds on the shot clock for Northwestern. Drew Crawford will inbound it from the baseline.
The spacing was not great for the Wildcats there. You saw one look where Crawford had the ball and Sobolewski was in his way.
Great pass to Cobb, but he can't finish. Right now, Northwestern just not getting anything to go. Cobb nearly with a steal in transition. Illinois State somehow maintains possession. Lee with the floater, no good. Alex Ola falls down hard on the leg of Sanjay Lumpkin. The two appear to be okay. Lumpkin thought about a 3. Cobb now. No good. Crawford. Cobb all the way to the hoop. It's good, and the foul. Big time shot from Jershawn Cobb. He's got a chance for a 3-point play the old-fashioned way.
Good things happen when you get your hands on loose balls. The Wildcats are doing that right now. as you take a look at this collision, and Sanjay Lumpkin took the worst of that, as he seemed to be fine, just walked it right off, but it can't be fun to have Alex Ola landing anywhere near your upper body.
Well, I don't think that Lumpkin will take any solace in this, but I think he kind of shielded Ola from taking a harder hit. If he had landed right on the hardwood, might have been trouble for the 7-footer from Romania.
As it is, landing on your tailbone is very painful.
I'm surprised that actually neither of them really had it. They both just got right back up. By the way, Jershawn Cobb at the free throw line. This will be his 9th free throw attempt. There's an audible ISU chant here at Welsh Ryan Arena. Cobb knocks down the free throw, and Illinois State leads by 15. 12 points for Jershawn Cobb. He leads the way for Northwestern.
See, Cobb has done it mostly at the line, 8 of 9 from the stripe, just 2 of 8 from the field.
Harris Lee, now Lofton, tied with Cobb for the most points in this one. Takes a three, no good. Seemed like Lofton couldn't miss in that first half. He was 4 of 9 from the field, 3 of 6 from behind the arc. More movement offensively from Northwestern here. Crawford goes baseline, kicks it out. Sobo for 3. It's good. And that's, I think, what Northwestern wants to see offensively. Timeout for Illinois State. We'll take it as well with 17:36 remaining on the arc. And as I mentioned, they've scored the first 6 points of the second half. Now we'll see if the defense can come to play. They gave up 40 points to an Illinois State team that was averaging just 64 over their first 2 games.
Illinois State.
Lumpkin knocks it away, saves it. And Lumpkin knocks into the Illinois State announcing crew just to the left of us, courtside, but you can't fault the effort. Illinois State retains possession. Sanjay Lumpkin nearly barreled over us, Cameron.
I saw my life flash before my eyes there, Brandon. As you can see, they're just getting after it now. Is this game not going to be a blowout as Illinois State maybe hoped going into halftime? This is a Northwestern team with some pride, defending home court.
Knight. Lofton. Inside to Lynch. He has 8. Under, and the reverse layup is good. Alex Ola let him go right by, and maybe that's a product of Ola's 3 fouls. Reggie Lynch in double figures now.
Got to be really careful of picking up number 4 for Ola.
Crawford. Turnaround, no. Rebound, Knight. Illinois State with the ball and a 14-point lead. Knight, turnaround. It's good. 16-point lead now for Illinois State. The Redbirds have scored 4 in a row.
Deshaun Knight shoots 25% from downtown, but 54% from the free throw stripe. So really not the kind of pure shooter you expect to be making a swish like that.
Cobb kicks it out. Drew open, passes up a 3, goes baseline, gets rejected by Middlebrooks. Michael Middlebrooks with the block. Illinois State in transition. Lofton for 3. Just like that, Illinois State leads by 19 after a 6-0 run to start the half for Northwestern. Illinois State scores 7 in a row. Lofton's got 15.
That was all Paris Lee making the extra pass. He could have pulled up and taken that in transition. His teammate had a slightly more open look, and that results in 3 points.
Sobo, no good. In transition, Lee pulls up. No good. Middlebrooks picks up the rebound. He misses. Northwestern finally gets control. Ola working on the freshman Lynch. Gets fouled. Reggie Lynch called for the foul. Northwestern trails by 19. A good start to the half initially for the Wildcats, but 7 straight Redbird points. Illinois State a 19-point. Zach Lofton leads the way for Illinois State with 15 points, one of 3 Redbird players in double figures. Next to him is Reggie Lynch. He's also got 10 points. Northwestern with the ball on the baseline coming out of the timeout. Biggest lead of the game for Illinois State, 19 points. Trey Demps takes it past the timeline. Nate Taphorn is checked in for Northwestern. Cobb, the only Northwestern player in double figures. Nice move by Taphorn, but the Wildcats get nothing from it. Demps for 3. It's good, and Northwestern down by 16 after a Trey Demps triple.
And it's nice to see Trey Demps getting on the board from deep, his first make of the game after missing one earlier. That's his game, it's from downtown.
Jones, turnaround, no good but a foul. Nikola Chirena, I believe.
Northwestern foul number 45.
Yes, it is indeed against Chirena. He's got 2 personal fouls. Take another look at this 3 by Trey Demps.
And Northwestern had a couple other looks from downtown on that possession, notably Taphorn drawing some defenders and kicking back out to Cobb, but they waited and got a better shot, showing some faith in Trey Demps despite his shooting struggles this past week. That's exactly what you want to see out of a team that's still learning to play under a new head coach.
John Jones knocks down the free throw. He's 3 of 3 from the charity stripe. 6'9", junior, from Barbados.
6'9", he's listed at 260. So a big presence in the post. You haven't seen as much of him today. We've been calling the name of Michael Middlebrooks a lot more in terms of big guys for the Redbirds.
Second free throw, no good. Chirena secures the rebound for the Wildcats. Dershawn Cobb gives it up. Cobb gets it back. Drives baseline, fadeaway J. Drew Crawford there for the rebound. Pass is deflected right to Taphorn. Taphorn runs right into a defender traveling. And Taphorn is on the ground. He ran right into the Illinois State defender. 6th turnover of the ball game for Northwestern. Cale Abrahamson checks back in for Northwestern. Nate Taphorn comes out.
Take another look at that. It looked like he was favoring his ankle. It looks like as he was going past Zeislop, he might have just tweaked his ankle a little bit. He walked it off and he looked okay, but just hope he's okay and there's no serious damage there.
Keene misses a 3. Loose ball foul goes against Illinois State. Northwestern with the ball. Got Cale Abrahamson and Trey Demps in. Northwestern trails by 17. Maybe Chris Collins hoping the Wildcats can shoot themselves out of this deficit.
Well, you look at the stats right now. They're shooting 18% from downtown. Just logically, this team is better than that from downtown. So you hope that the next couple shots will turn that around.
Well, after an 0 of 7 first half from 3, Wildcats have made a pair here. One-handed shot by Crawford, and that hit every part of the rim before going down. Drew for 2, and Crawford has 8.
Illinois State comes right back on offense. They don't waste any time.
Jones misses the layup. Rebound. Out of bounds. Northwestern ball. Chirena had to do more than his fair share of fighting for that one, but the Wildcats come away with it. John Jones unhappy. He missed that layup.
It was a tough shot. It was contested inside by Chirena. Good job to not foul, but Northwestern has to do a better job on the glass. They drew that one loose ball foul by having everybody box out. That's really the first time the Wildcats have done that. They're allowing too many tips.
Cobb doubled, finds Abrahamson. He misses a 3. Tries to get his own rebound, but Zeisloff muscles it away from him. Keene saves it for Illinois State. It goes off Trey Demps, and Illinois State retains possession. Demps can't believe he touched that one.
That's just a heads-up play by Keene. You're just chucking it towards the lane, and if you're Demps, you don't know if there's someone trailing, so you have to get your hands up, maybe just out of defense, if anything else. It's just instinct. He's trying to get the steal, but realized that one was going to go out of bounds if he hadn't touched it.
Jones, layup. Northwestern having trouble containing these big guys for Illinois State. It's a 17-point lead for the Redbirds.
That's just simple pick-and-roll action, Brandon. For a team that's been preaching defense, you see just a stoic Chris Collins on the sideline right now.
Well, Jones joins the double-figure club for Illinois State with 11 points. Nice pass by Cobb. Chirena loses the ball going up. A steal that time by Deshaun Knight. Knight all the way to the rack. He misses the shot, but a foul going against Trey Demps.
Illinois State has been tremendously active on the defensive end. They've been using their hands very well without committing fouls. They have 14 fouls already, and Northwestern was in the double bonus for most of the second half. But with as much as they reach in and cause havoc, then you see here just quick in transition. Demps couldn't get to the position in time. As Knight tried to use some body language to roll that one in.
Knight knocks down the free throw. It's an 18-point lead for Illinois State. Lumpkin checks in for the Wildcats along with Dave Sobolewski, Trey Dempson, Nico Chirena. Sit down.
It's a small look for the Wildcats right now as they don't have Ola or Chirena out there, but the Redbirds keep John Jones out there at 6'9", 260.
Northwestern comes away with a rebound. Knight 1 of 2 from the free throw line, his first 2 attempts. Lumpkin lobs it into Cobb. Cobb gets fouled. He'll go to the free throw line. Jershawn Cobb has already shot 9 free throws in this one. Got good position there. But right now, Northwestern just having trouble on the interior. As soon as Cobb got that one, he was doubled by John Jones.
Some excellent entry pass, though, by Lumpkin. You have to know the double is coming, and John Jones, who really takes up a lot of space in the paint with that 6'9", 260 frame, you know he's going to come and block shots. Cobb did a nice job of making sure to draw the foul and not getting a shot blocked.
Cobb, the only Northwestern player in double figures. He's got a dozen. First free throw is good. He's 9 of 10 from the free throw line, so doing much of his damage from the charity stripe. Zach Lofton checks back in for Deshaun Knight. Kaysa Keene in as well. Cobb leading the way for Northwestern. Well, we talked pregame, Cameron, about how Northwestern needed a third scorer. Well, today they just need a second scorer. And Cobb and no one else really making an impact offensively. Drew Crawford does have 8.
Illinois State, though, 4 players in double figures. Very surprising when you look at the talent level on this Northwestern team, especially Drew Crawford.
Off-balance shot, no good. Crawford, all the way for 2. He stuffs it home with the right hand. Second big-time dunk for Crawford today.
And now he's in double figures, and Drew Crawford has all of the explosiveness that you expect to see out of a big-time player.
Traveling violation gives the ball to Northwestern. We head to break with 11 double figures. Cobb has 14 for the Wildcats. No one else has more than 6. The Wildcats with the ball, they trail by 14. Abrahamson. 3 is good, and Northwestern is within 11.
Kale Abrahamson is tall and has a very quick release. Very difficult to block when he's 6'7" and gets the shot up that quickly.
Wildcats got the deficit down to 12 earlier. Couldn't get it any closer. A putback jam there for Michael Middlebrooks. Gives Illinois State a 13-point lead. Once again, Illinois State's had an answer every time Northwestern's made a run. Off balance for Drew, no good. Rebound Lumpkin. Lumpkin all alone. Left-handed layup is good. He didn't realize he was all alone initially.
He surprised himself, turned around, and there's the basket. Go ahead, young fella, put that in.
Offensive foul against Zach Lofton, and the Wildcats get the ball back. They trail 53-42 with under 11 minutes to go. Finally, we're starting to hear a little life in this building, Cameron.
Lofton needs to be careful about just setting the ball down like that as it rolls over to media row over here.
And that's his third 2 for Illinois State's leading scorer.
We'll sometimes see a delay of game warning as Drew Crawford really has realized that this is his game, it's his team, it's his moment. This is the reason he came back. You heard discussions about him going to other schools, Marquette and Missouri, potentially going to a tournament as a
That gentleman got a round of applause after drying off the court. Well, Northwestern fans hoping they can cheer for their basketball team here. Crawford going to work. Abrahamson. That 3-ball for Kale was his first basket of the season, his first points. Crawford now, no. Would have been huge. Instead, Illinois State in transition. Hunter misses, but a foul. That was a late call by the official. Drew Crawford can't believe it. That'll be the second foul against Drew. Crawford incredulous.
There's a lot of contact there. Wasn't sure if they're getting him for the reach-in or just the lower body contact, as Hunter just kind of leaned in.
Bobby Hunter goes to the free throw line for the first time today. 10.5 minutes to play. He misses. Bobby Hunter just 6 of 10 coming into this game. Only 2 points for Hunter today.
Hunter's a redshirt junior guard out of Reno, Nevada. As he misses both, a 60% free throw shooter, the kind of guy the Wildcats not going to mind putting on the line down the stretch.
Wildcats with another chance to cut this deficit to single digits. Cobb, no. Rebound Lofton. A long two early in the shot clock that time from Northwestern. Lofton. He misses. Cobb skies for the rebound. Wildcats going the other way. Sobolewski around his man all the way for two. And Northwestern is within 10. Timeout on the floor. Out on the floor.
Gabe Sobolewski is not the...
Wildcats hoping for a stop here. Sobo forces the ball loose. And a jump ball is called. No, it's a timeout. The referee gives Michael Middlebrooks the timeout. Initially, he had signaled for a jump ball, and Sanjay Lumpkin protesting because the Illinois State either way.
That possession error is big, though, but also that timeout is big. So the timeout is going to be taken either way. I'm sure Illinois State right now is frustrated. They thought they were saving themselves a possession arrow.
Middlebrooks loses it. Cobb gets it for Northwestern. No good for Sobolewski on the three ball. Foul against Northwestern on the rebound. Abrahamson not happy.
So he just got tangled up with his man there on the block, trying to get outside him on the box out. It looks like their hands just got tied or something.
First foul for Cale Abrahamson. Fourth team foul for the Wildcats. Another foul, this one going against Illinois State. Reggie Lynch with the offensive foul and a turnover for the Redbirds. That's their 11th. All of a sudden, the game being played at a much more choppy pace. Wildcats with another chance to cut this deficit even more. They trail by 9.
That last foul was big. It's Lynch's third, so one more random play on the inside where you draw contact, suddenly he has 4.
Sobolewski thought about a 3. Passes it out and loses it. Illinois State in transition. Middlebrooks throws it down hard and a foul. Oh my. What a play by Michael Middlebrooks to give Illinois State an 11-point lead. He can make it 12 at the free throw line.
Take another look. He got way above the rim, and Sanjay Lumpkin, sorry, young blood, you were on a poster.
Foul goes against Sanjay Lumpkin. His first personal 15 foul for the Wildcats. Middlebrooks to the charity stripe. Take another look. Big time dunk from Michael Middlebrooks. Oh my.
And stuff like that, that's why players sometimes don't want to get back on defenses. You don't want to get embarrassed like that on a big dunk. It's the fundamentally sound play to get back and put really hard to defend.
Illinois State with a three-quarter court press there, but Northwestern breaks it. Looks like Illinois State's playing a zone now. This really confused Northwestern against Stanford. Had trouble playing against the Cardinals 2-3. Crawford kicks it out to Demps. Demps with a shot fake, kicks it out. Foul against Illinois State with 4 seconds on the shot clock, so Northwestern has another opportunity offensively.
And Northwestern just a little bit slow to get into their offense there. A lot of dribble handoffs.
That's the 4th personal foul for Zach Lofton, who was a spark plug for Illinois State in the first half. Still leads the way in this game with 15 points. And Northwestern in the bonus now. That was the 8th team foul against Illinois State. Cobb shooting a 1-and-1. He's made a living at the free throw line tonight. 10 of 11. This free throw is no good. It rims out. Big miss for Jershawn Cobb. Illinois State going the other way. Knight for 3. It's good. Deshaun Knight knocks it in. And Illinois State pushes the lead back up to 14. Foul again on Illinois State. Jershon Cobb will go back to the free throw line.
And if I'm Chris Collins, I would have thought about taking a timeout during that last possession. He shows a lot of faith in his guys by letting them get back out there and putting Jershon Cobb right back at the line. As you see, Dave Sobluski going to check in. This is a two-shot foul as it was a shooting foul. But you just saw a 9-point deficit expand back to a 14-point deficit. Take another look at this transition three. Northwestern just having trouble getting the bodies back and finding men in the transition game.
Illinois State 5 of 13 from deep. Cobb knocks down the first free throw. He's 11 of 13. Both of those numbers are career highs for Jershon in terms of free throws made and free throws attempted in a game.
In terms of guys who benefit from the new rules that cut down on hand checks and really improves the life for slashers and cutters, Jershon Cobb benefits the most of all Northwestern players.
Well, he's certainly done a good job getting to the free throw line, but he makes just one of two there. Knight behind the back dribble. Pull-up jumper, it's short. Rebound Northwestern. Wildcats playing a pretty quick pace right now. Abrahamson launches a three, it's good, he's excited. 10-point lead for Illinois State, second triple of the game for Cale Abrahamson. His first 2 buckets of the year.
Off-ball screens here from Illinois State. Northwestern doing a good job of communicating through switches.
3-ball, Paris Lee. It's good. Every time Northwestern makes a push, the Redbirds have an answer. Paris Lee knocks down a 3-pointer, his first of the game, and the Redbirds lead by 13.
Illinois State sitting back in that zone, daring Northwestern to respond with a 3 of their own. Beating the zone is all about quick passing and outside shooting.
Northwestern, though, doing the same thing that caused them problems against Stanford, just passing along the perimeter. Demps, floater, misses, gets his own rebound and puts it in. Trey Demps breaking down the zone that time with a drive.
And that's how Trey Demps is going to get his mojo back. He's going to hit some of his outside shots, but he's going to, if he wants to stay in the game and continue to make lasting impacts through this season, he's got to find a way to score in the mid-range and close game as well.
Lee takes another one. No good. Long rebound, though, and Illinois State comes away with it. Northwestern just can't catch a break right now.
They're so concerned with the shooters and getting hands up in the shooters that they're not being able to chase down those long rebounds.
Hunter looked like he slid his feet there, gets it away to Lee. Deshaun Knight working on Crawford, traveling violation. 12th turnover for Illinois State. We'll take a break with 5:54 remaining in this one. Illinois State leads Northwestern by a score of 61-50.
And they've shown the first couple games. He's got 6 points today, his first points of the season.
Yeah.
A guy who started 7 games last season for the Wildcats, wasn't really expected to, but injuries that really derailed Northwestern's season last year.
Demps takes a 3. It rattles out. Rebound Illinois State. None of the bounces going Northwestern's way. Knight, right wing. Redbirds will be happy to let some time run off the clock here. He's passing it around the perimeter. Deshaun Knight. Knight has 14. 4 ISU players in double figures. Now they have to get something going. 5 seconds to shoot. Falling down. Knight picks it up. Nearly put it in. Northwestern forces a stop, but Illinois State runs 35 seconds off the clock. Sobolewski, Crawford. Illinois State, a team that generally plays man-to-man, knows that zones have caused Northwestern trouble early this season. Northwestern just passing around the perimeter as well with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Long 3 from Drew, it's good. It's an 8-point game. That's the smallest lead Illinois State has had in this second half. with 4.5 minutes to play.
That was a big boy shot right there from Drew Crawford from NBA range when his team needs it the most.
13 points for Drew. Lee, floater, no good. Fight for the rebound. It's Illinois State that comes away with it in a foul on Northwestern. The little man, Paris Lee, listed at just 5'11", came away with a pair of offensive rebounds there, and that's a backbreaker if you're Northwestern.
Northwestern's got to get somebody to hit the floor. There are three guys, three Northwestern jerseys to just one Paris Lee. Let's take another look at where Drew Crawford was standing when he knocked that shot down. There are still 10 seconds on the shot clock, Brandon, but Crawford had a good look at the basket, got his feet set, figured why not.
Free throw for Paris Lee is no good. Jershawn Cobb checks in for Northwestern. Dave Sobolewski comes out, so in crunch time, Chris Collins goes away from his point guard. Well, we've seen a lot of Jershawn Cobb at the point in these first 3 games.
And he's responded. He passes the ball really well. You saw him get a career high in assists the other day. I think he had 7 or 8 assists.
8 assists in the season opener against Eastern Illinois. Second free throw is good. 9-point lead for Illinois State. It's Lumpkin, Cobb, Crawford, Trey Demps, and Cale Abrahamson. No center, no point guard for Northwestern.
An awful lot of shooting, an awful lot of perimeter defense to hang out with the quick guards that Illinois State has. See if they can penetrate the lane here against this zone.
2-3 zone. Abrahamson drives baseline, absorbs contact, no shot attempt. But Northwestern is in the bonus. So free throws coming up for Cale Abrahamson. We'll take a break. Final media timeout of the game with 3:56 remaining. Northwestern has not been a great third game for NU. They've trailed by as many as 19 in this one. But the deficit's down to 8, and Cale Abrahamson's at the charity stripe with a pair of free throws coming up.
These are big. It's 2 shots, but coming in cold out of the timeout. Got to make these.
First one is no good for Cale.
Rush that first one.
With 6 points, his first 6 of the season, 2 3-balls. Second free throw is good, and Northwestern trails by 8. 3:56 remaining. Wildcats maybe will put a little bit more defensive pressure on now. Illinois State just ran clock on their last offensive possession. Zach Lofton with it. Hunter picks up his dribble. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Zeisloft. Now Knight. 5 seconds to shoot. Knight pulls up, fadeaway. No good. Out of bounds off Illinois State. Northwestern ball with 3:20 remaining. Wildcats play good defense. They have the ball down by 8.
And Northwestern really rotating a lot in that defensive possession. I think you saw Cale Abrahamson guard all 5 spots in that defensive rotation. He was in the post, matched up against Lynch, and then he was out on the shooter on the perimeter.
And Northwestern playing a defense that allows them to switch quite a bit under Chris Collins. Wildcats with the ball, still facing that ISU zone. Abrahamson in the teeth, kicks it out. Demps, long 2-ball. It's good, it rattles home for Trey Demps. And the Wildcats down by just 6 with under 3 minutes to play.
That is a long 2, a very low percentage shot from a guy who's been struggling, but he came through when the team needed it. Now it's just a 2-possession game.
10 points now for Demps. Wildcats down by 6 on defense. Lofton, quick fire 3. It's no good, but Zeisloft's there for the rebound. New shot clock. Knight all the way to the basket. He misses, but a blocking foul goes against Northwestern. Drew Crawford picks up his 3rd, and it'll be 2 free throws coming up for Deshaun Knight, the junior.
And that was a really quick shot out of the offensive rebound for Illinois State. You figure they could have just pulled the ball back and run the clock down to about 2 minutes. Instead, they attacked the rim, and they're going to get themselves 2 shots as the foul on Crawford is his 3rd.
Knight at the free throw line. Makes the first one. Knight's got 15, tied with Zach Lofton to lead all scorers in this game. Jershawn Cobb also has 15 for the Wildcats.
And Deshaun Knight coming into today's game shooting just 54% from the stripe. He has a chance to improve on that right now in a pressure moment.
This is his 4th free throw attempt of the game. It's no good. Rebound, Sanjay Lumpkin. Cats with the ball. They trail by 7. 2:20 remain at Welsh Ryan Arena, and Illinois State's gone back to a man-to-man. Abrahamson drives baseline. Off balance, gets rejected, out of bounds. It'll stay with Northwestern. 21 seconds on the shot clock, 2:13 to go in the game.
It's nice to see Cale Abrahamson try to extend his game. He's much more comfortable hanging out on the perimeter, putting up threes. Nice to see him try to drive the lane, make something happen. But that time avoided the contact, or rather it was a good job by the defender to avoid contact.
Inbound for Demps. It's a long one to Drew Crawford. He goes all the way into the backcourt.
Seen a lot of those long inbounds passes from the Wildcats today.
Demps all the way. He's fouled. Trey Demps draws contact, and he'll go to the stripe for 2. Foul goes against Michael Middlebrooks, 3rd personal. And Northwestern once again in the double bonus. Aggressiveness from the Wildcat offense here. Looked like Middlebrooks got a lot of the ball, though.
And you could see it looks like he hit his elbow, though, on the non-shooting hand.
First free throw is good for Trey Demps. He's 2 of 3 from the free throw line. Make it 3 of 4. It's a 5-point game with 2 minutes to go.
Every possession gets more important. 2 minutes to go, 2-possession game. 3-pointers seem really attractive here, but they aren't necessarily the best shot.
Northwestern needs to stop first and foremost. Lofton, off balance, no good. Over the back foul on Middlebrooks, Northwestern ball. Wildcats play textbook D and get a good box out that time. They have the ball and can make it a 1-possession game with a bucket here.
And Middlebrooks just trying to make a little bit too much happen. He's been very much involved in this game. Just 6 points. He had that big highlight reel dunk, but he has been all over the glass. He has 11 rebounds.
It's going to be a free throw, actually. It was an over-the-back loose ball foul. 2 shots coming up for Sanjay Lumpkin. Lumpkin has not attempted a free throw in this game. First one is no good. Sanjay is 0 for 2 from the stripe this season. Second free throw is good for Sanjay Lumpkin. It's a 4-point game.
Really a bummer for the Wildcats to not get both of those. That would have made it a 1-possession game if he had made both.
Hunter with it for Illinois State. 1.5 minutes to play. 4-point lead. The Redbirds have led by as many as 19 on Northwestern's home court. Kick out, 3 ball. No good, but Zeisloft is there for the rebound. Nobody boxed him out. And Dan Muller urging his team to just waste some time. They get a brand new 35.
Still don't need to foul, but you got to get the stop and the rebound without fouling for Northwestern. Chris Collins still has 3 timeouts to work with.
1 minute to play, 14 seconds to shoot. Knight dribbling on the end cap. Now with 10 seconds, the Redbirds getting their offense. Knight with a crossover all the way, off balance, no good. Lumpkin rebounds. Northwestern pushing the ball from right to left. Cobb gives it to Crawford. Crawford off balance, misses. Fight for the ball. Lumpkin comes away with it. Cobb inside to Abrahamson. Abrahamson misses, but he's fouled. With 32.2 seconds left, Abrahamson has a chance to make this a 2-point game. With a chance to make this a 2-point game, he's 1 of 2 from the free throw line with 7 points for NU.
And look who's at the scores table checking into this game. James Montgomery III, who has not appeared in a game yet for the Wildcats. If I had to guess, he's checking in for Abrahamson, trying to go offense-defense.
First free throw is good for Kale. 3-point game.
Montgomery remains by the scorers table, so he is in for Abrahamson if this free throw is good.
Second free throw, no good. Rebound, Illinois State, but Cobb steals it away. Fight for the ball on the floor, and a timeout is granted to Illinois State. No, it's a foul going against Jershawn Cobb, and he can't believe it. Second foul on Jershawn Cobb. He was diving for a loose ball, and he gets called for the foul. Free throws coming up for ISU.
Take another look at this as he got his hands on it at first and then took his eyes off the ball at the wrong moment as he had the steal in his hands, just couldn't corral it.
Thought he had the timeout called. Instead, it's 2 free throws for Paris Lee. Makes the first one. It was a 1-and-1. So it's a 4-point lead now for the Redbirds.
Northwestern still has all 3 timeouts, but unlike in the NBA, a timeout does not advance the ball. So Northwestern might try to advance the ball and then call a timeout and run a set play from closer to the basket.
Second free throw is no good. Northwestern has to rush. Timeout just as Cobb crosses half court. 24.5 seconds left. Illinois State leads Northwestern by 4. Tense moments here.
Midway through this half, where Illinois State ended up getting the timeout, the refs had 2 different calls. One granted the timeout, the other calling the jump ball. In terms of this possession, I would get the ball to your best player, your senior leader. I think this ball goes to Drew Crawford. Let him create.
Demps is the inbound man. Looking for someone, gets it to Cobb. Cobb to the hoop. Right-handed layup is good. Northwestern gets what they need, a quick layup. And immediately Chris Collins calls a timeout. He wants James Montgomery.
Illinois inbounds call. You could tell Trey Demps had the clock going in his head. Barely got it in. Northwestern with the full court press. They have Lumpkin up front. Cobb, Demps, and Montgomery near midcourt, and Crawford all the way in the back.
Hoping for a steal here. Lumpkin guarding the inbound man. Hunter gets it into Lofton. Lofton immediately doubled. He gets it to Hunter. Redbirds cross the midcourt stripe. Get it all the way to the other end of the court. Paris Lee is fouled with 13.7 seconds left. Northwestern let 8 seconds run off there.
And they were never even close to committing the foul there. They left Drew Crawford 2-on-1 in the back, and really, Lee could have probably just tipped that in. There was the lob. He could have just tipped that in. It would have been an easy 2 points, and he wouldn't have run off much more time as Crawford was coming in to foul. And Crawford has just 3 fouls, 18 fouls for the Wildcats, so this is a 1-and-1.
Big shot for Paris Lee. He makes it. Was just 2 of 4 at the free throw line before that shot, but it's a 3-point game now. Illinois State leads.
And this is the big one. This is the one that would make it a 2-possession game if it goes through.
It's good. 2-possession game. Paris Lee with a couple of clutch free throws. Northwestern uses their last timeout. Jershawn Cobb thought they were going for it. 9.2 seconds remain. Illinois State leads Northwestern by 4, and Northwestern.
Then the experts predicted a team that really no one knew what to expect. We've talked about how they had 10 newcomers, including 5 JUCO transfers. They've really started to come together. A team that's trying to avoid going 0-3 as they've lost their first 2 games to VCU and Drexel.
Lumpkin, the inbounder. And his pass is deflected out of bounds by Hunter. About half a second ran off the clock there. Northwestern, for the second time in a row, has trouble inbounding the ball.
Unlike last time, they don't have a timeout to call if they get to that 5 seconds. They just have to throw it in. They cannot turn the ball over.
Crawford gets it in. Cobb shoots, knocks it down. Inbound for Illinois State. They get it in to Tony Wills. He's fouled immediately. That's the first time we've seen Tony Wills in this game. It was a 2-ball for Jershawn Cobb. 5.9 seconds remain. And Tony Wills, coming off the bench for the first time, will have a couple of big free throws with 5.9 seconds left.
How about this for Tony Wills? He's not scored a point in college. He is a freshman guard out of Ben Davis High School in Indianapolis. 2 games. He's played 10 minutes. Let's take a look at that Jershawn Cobb quick turnaround jumper. Long 2s. Northwestern wasn't getting him to bounce in the first half, getting more of him here in the second.
Wills has not attempted a free throw yet in college. This is his second game of the year. He makes the first one. ISU continuing to knock down big free throws. This one would ice it.
How about this for your first collegiate trip to the free throw line, your first action in a Big Ten gym? Tony Wills with a chance to ice this one for Illinois State.
It's a 3-point lead. Make it 4. Tony Wills with a couple big free throws. He gets some love from his teammates. It's a 4-point game with just under 6 seconds remaining.
He checks right back out of the game. Kaiza Keene comes back in. And desperation time here for the Wildcats.
Last gasp. Cobb draws contact, no foul called. He misses, and that'll do it. Illinois State gets their first win of 2013, a 68-64 victory over Northwestern.